it's a live show. Crazy things happen, and you just got to roll with it. So I'm back here with Allie Myers of the Scoop Saratoga, and she was just telling us the most amazing story about how she got started with the Scoop. So you literally had a 3-year-old, and he is 3 now, or he was 3.
He was 3, and I knew I had to pitch this new idea to businesses. I would wait for him to have time. I'd swear my other boys to silence downstairs and say, don't you come up to, and I would, I showed kind of a mock-up of what a video would when I covered one of the small businesses. I showed kind of a mock-up of what, like, once I built it, right? And I remember them saying, so how many followers do you have? I really don't have any. This is just an idea. And the amazing thing is, businesses had, total faith in me, and they went for it. And most of them were partners till the end. So that was just an amazing thing. And the whole concept was to local businesses, who were not able to get the foot traffic. And so I did that for a while, and it was all video based at one point. You were not able to see each other, right? And then it kind of segued a little bit content, because I love to write. And also it gave me a little bit more, use a personal brand into it. And people probably remembered looking a little bit different. It then started focusing a little bit more on women, and today, sharing stories of women who are just doing awesome. And I just want to inspire other women out there. And literally, as I was to get on with you, Catherine, the woman who I had just covered, Passion in Motion, Hippo Physical Therapy, and she just does such beautiful, children with disabilities. And she read the article, and she just wrote me just the most heart mail about, she serves people. Like her goal is just serve. And, I said to her, so what's your website? I'll link it. And she kind of laughed, and she said, I have a website, and so the fact that I was able to share her message, she just wrote me the most glowing, note of gratitude. And that really.
Yeah, it's so like, obviously small business owners are the backbone of our economy. And we saw that during COVID, we were all impacted by like the loss of their business, Mm-hmm. And so also a lot of what I think I realized largely is that a lot of small businesses are owned by, mom and pops, and they have all sorts of things going on. And the thing that falls by the wayside is the social media, is the content, and then an added dose of sometimes they don't even realize how impactful they are to the the community. Mm-hmm. And so I think for the woman you were talking about with the hippotherapy, it's like it's very hard sometimes for people to talk about themselves and all the impacts that they're making and all the amazing work that they're doing for the community. So to have you as a resource to come in and say, you know what, listen, let me just help you out a little bit and really communicate clearly and articulately and professionally what you're doing and how impactful it is to our community. It's such a value.
It's so enjoyable. And, with that particular piece, it was kind of I got the privilege to go watch these children who had, I'm forgetting the name, Fragile X syndrome. And they have, a lot of things going on in everyday living, and they couldn't be there without heaven. So I got to share what two different organizations, or, what two different entities, children, in conjunction with each other. And, it's just, we have an awesome community, and so many people, so generous and so generous with their time. And it's truly my pleasure to.
So I feel like the first time that I ever met you, it's like very clear, and I'm sure anyone watching can see this too. You are just an optimist, like naturally, or like what gives you this confidence to, pitch the big player that sponsored the events during COVID, and to get out there and start doing this. I mean, what did you do before? Did that contribute to what you're doing now? And I think that that's one thing that I think women, struggle with, is the confidence to put themselves out there and to go after the goals, and to say, you know what, I deserve to have these things, or have the opportunity to provide my service to the world.
Well, I think, everybody can get in there, your biggest roadblock to what you want to do. But, I definitely probably most people. And, I think as I got older, what's the worst that can happen? Somebody said I would be kicking myself to not take, at least take a swing at, definitely have been an optimist my whole life. I always introduce myself in board meetings. Well, I know I'm the eternal optimist, but I see it a different way, and that to kind of taking, a little bit of a different path next year. And it's something that, over the last few years, I think as many people, I'm sure nobody wants to work these days, right? Nobody wants to work, and I feel very different work, but they had the realization that they don't want to be doing what they were doing. And a lot of the places for employees, those people have moved on to probably look within and say, is it that I want? And it's not what I've been doing, So, kind of the Great Resignation, and this, people's mental states. I had told you before this, although many people think I'm an attorney because I worked for Myers for years, I'm not. I'm an engineer, and if you know me, I am very, I'm very analytical. That surprises people. Some definitely my past, and I became obsessed about 10 years ago with psychology. Now, if you don't know about positive psychology, in summary, it's a study of kind of instead of looking back at maybe what broke in at what makes you thrive, and using all traits to propel you forward. So it's a very positive approach to psychology and wellness. And so what I did is I actually started positive psychology the beginning of this year, and I'm in kind of an immersive course throughout this year, because all these tools I'm using, positive psychology is an incredibly science-backed field. Really take these tools and turn them around into, approachable mops and things that I can work through with both individuals and organizations, to reach both kind of in their own lives and in the careers that they choose, and in different workplaces, and kind of feel like that's my calling.
So, wow. I mean, that's like, it's not really a total left turn, but I'm sure you saw even with working with small business owners, having that positive mindset and thinking, what could go right versus what could go wrong helps them in their business too.
Absolutely. And a lot of this, honestly, Catherine, came from people reached out to me from the Scoop, while doing a Scoop, and saying, oh my gosh, I was so inspired by your story. I love the fact that person always wanted to do this, but, I've always wanted to do this, but, and it just mindset thing, and just the power of the mind, just huge. And I feel, I worry about this generation with technology just filling every void of our day. We don't have the ability to kind of reflect on what we want and live our own lives to the next thing through notifications and stuff. So I just really think it's more live intentionally. And, I think that helps everybody in both life and in work.
Yeah, absolutely. So you are doing you're very involved in the community. Like besides what you're doing, The Scoop, you've always been, I feel like, a pillar of our community, always very involved in a lot of nonprofit work. And you were mentioning right before we went on about the YMCA, and I live right by the Y, so they are building something back there. So tell us more about that. And I think, is your office also at the Y or near the Y?
Oh, my office is in the Wise building, not the WISE building, the Wise building, which is like kitty corner from Spa Coffee thing.
Okay, so tell us about this project you're working with the Y.
Yes, the board of directors of the Y, the Saratoga Regional YMCA, for about 3 years. It really was my first larger role within the community after spending home and working for our family business. And it's just been an absolutely amazing experience for me. I'm sure you've seen, as you just said, and the Y has been sharing the fact that there is a new building underway, and there is a capital campaign that we're just beginning that we took the reins, and I'm leading the Y's board through this capital campaigning stages. But it's just going to be such an amazing thing for our community. The seat of Saratoga will be coming onto the campus of the Y and connected to us, considering kind of the aging population and what's going to happen to the age of the population. It's really going to be a win-win for everyone. You know, it gives us the ability to kind of car services, and they do like really fun things there. They have like live music, and they're going to have like a full working kitchen in there with guest chefs, and they're just going to do so many. A lot of we have a lot of seniors at the Y who I think don't appreciate what the senior center does, and so we'll be able to cross promote that and kind of take some of the stigma away from Bologna, right? And show them you can be going on these wine tours and doing the amazing things. Part of the expansion is going to be focused on kind of chronic disease prevention and really trying to address needs of our community that we see are emerging. It brings me so much satisfaction. It's one of the scariest things I've ever done, in fundraising. But it's so satisfying.
Yeah, and you're also like, not only are you investing in the community and such a, like, again, a staple of our community, this senior center. And we used to do paint and sips at the senior center too. It was so much fun. And I think it's so cool to see that they're getting this like new state-of-the-art facility, and they're going to be able to impact and help more seniors in our area. Not to mention us when we are seniors.
Well, exactly. It's so funny. I'm thinking, like, when the time comes that I'm asking my friends for money, I have to remind ourselves, right? But you're so right. I mean, and they're going to have like an art room. You were a new art room. I mean, it really is just going to be a state-of-the-art facility. So
I have to share with you that, one of the, granted, I'm not raising probably millions of dollars like you need to raise for the Y, but when we raised money for Palette, the best success I had, the most successful, fundraise was when I would walk through the space with a pink hard hat and give a hard hat tour. So I don't know, maybe that's an idea that you can do for the Ys, bring people through this facility when it's in the construction phase.
Great.
With a hard hat.
Yeah.
There's nothing more fun than seeing something literally from the ground up.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you caught we did like a little press thing a few weeks back, and we were all doing the shovel, and it was pretty fun. But yeah, that's a great idea. And well, that's wild because there are several phases, but
yeah,
it's
awesome.
super exciting.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
Too, again, like I moved to Saratoga from New Orleans 11 years ago, and to see how our community has grown and expanded in the last 10 years, it's really, really cool to be a part of. And what the next 10 years is going to look like is even better. And I think we're just getting started.
Yeah, I completely agree. I remember when I moved here I mean, so many storefronts on Broadway were boarded up, and nothing will survive here except for like expensive comfort shoes, because there was that big I forget what it was.
It's like the Shoe Depot.
Shoe Depot, yeah. I remember they weren't cheap shoes, but they were, it was one of the only places, and it's a really different Saratoga. And the fact that fresh can survive and coexist, I just think it really speaks to kind of the of the people who are coming to Saratoga.
Yeah, I love it.
It's such a great place.
It is. I mean, I love it. We're raising our kids here. I know you have 4 kids, I have 3. And, we really have to be I hate to say this because it's so cliche, but like we have to be the change we want to see in our community. And it starts with us. And our kids will benefit. We will benefit. Our older versions of ourselves will benefit. And you can never have enough people helping to support, advance, grow, evolve with what the community is. And so I love what you're doing. I'm happy to support you in any way. I thank you for being here for it. Thank you. I'm so grateful that you did this with me. I know you've never done live.
For my surgical glitch there.
That's what it's all about. And, the world kept spinning and we went back on and now people are watching. So there we go. Well, thanks again for being here. I'll see you soon. And again, anyone watching wants to connect with Allie, you can find her on our website at thescoopsaratoga.com. She is a member of Palette, so she's on our website there at palettecommunity.com. You're on Instagram, and you're in all the things, and obviously on the board at the Y, so you can always engage with her there. And stay tuned. We'll be back next week with some more amazing women doing awesome things in our community. And until then, have a good day.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.